G'day and welcome to another OpenInsight Quick Start Guide video in which we're looking at the user interface workspace. Now I've opened up with G'day from Australia today, although my Australian accent is bad, because over the weekend England beat Australia in the cricket, the 2020, which is great news. And David, my colleague in Australia, normally emails me to rub it in that Australia have beaten England, so I thought I'd rub it in using the video. So well done England, and let's look forward to the Ashes. Anyway, we're not here to talk cricket, we're here to talk OpenInsight and the user interface workspace. In this lesson we're going to be creating a QuickHelp message for our application. So let's go in and open up the Clinic application, and we'll open up the user interface workspace. What we want to do is File and New, and we want a QuickHelp. Very simple interface here. We've just got two tabs, text and appearance. So on the title, we'll just give it a title, which is going to be hospital number help. And here's a little tip for you. You can quite happily, just enter some text in here, so the hospital number, blah 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 blah. But one of my pet hates in software is where you've got text for help files or any block of text where there's spelling mistakes. It drives me nuts, and I'm not the greatest typist in the world. So what I tend to do is I tend to enter my text into a word processor, so in this case Microsoft Word, and one that's going to check my spellings for me, so I can see straight away here that unique is spelt wrong and sequential is spelt wrong. Two very easy spelling mistakes. So I can see those very quick and easy. My grammar's been checked as well as the spelling. I can then just simply copy that into the OpenInsight interface. I'll just drop down a line there. And now I know that my spelling is correct, and it keeps the quality of my application, which is what I particularly like. And that's something that I would encourage you to do within your own applications. The next tab is the Appearance tab. Now in here again, it's similar to the one before. We got our position, so the center of the screen, center of the window. That's the option I'm going to take. Or we could set the X and Y coordinates relative to our window. We can have it auto size if we want to, or we could actually set the height and the width. I'm going to leave mine as auto size for now. We can set the font, which I'm quite happy about for the moment, and I can have the message scrollable, read only, etc. So we might just want to check both of those now. And the justification left, right and center, I'll leave that as text. And we can also change the color of the text as well, so we can go full color or background color. Now you can also do that from the QuickHelp menu, so our background color and our foreground color. So I could go in here and I could set the foreground color to red if I wanted to. I'm not, I'm going to leave it as black. And also I can go in here and look at the font. So I could change the font to regular 8 to home or whatever I want to. I could set it to bold. We'll set it to bold, and you can see here that we've got a sample representation. So we'll click OK. Now just a word of warning, if you go back to the text tab, you'll notice here that the font has actually become a little bit bigger and it's no longer bold. Don't worry about that if you do go backwards, because when we test run it you'll find that it will look fine. So again, we can generate the code if we want to, so then we could call the QuickHelp from in our code anywhere. We saw that in the previous lesson, so I won't worry about that for now. And then what we can do is we can very quickly just test run that. Ugh, now that looks really horrible. In fact, it's gone off the video screen. So I think the auto sizing is not really working for us very well, but we can see that we're quite nicely bolded there if we want to. And just bear in mind that if you can't just bold part of it, it's got to be all or nothing in there. So I think what we might want to do is to go in and change auto size, and let's change the height to 100 and the width to 100 just to see what that's going to look like. That's a little bit better, although I think that we've got our scroll bar in here, which is okay, but we don't really need that in there. However, if I was to change, let's say the width to let's say 125, and we just test run that, then no, still not quite enough. Okay, so 250 is fine. That's a little bit better. I might not want to have the scroll bar there now, so we can take that one out and test run that. And yep, I'm quite happy with the way that that looks now. I'll settle for that. So once we're happy, we'll save that away, and we'll use our naming convention. So this is going to be, I'll just call it QHLP for Quick Help, and this is going to be, actually let's change it to hospital number. That'll do, and we'll save that as a Quick Help. OK that. Right, so we're done with the user interface workspace. We now need to obviously hook it up to our Windows somehow. So we'll go back into the interface here, and I'm going to drop on a button. Now this could be done on the options or pretty much any event where it sort of makes sense for you. Let's just move this across, and I'll just call this ID help for no real reason. And if we go into the events and the quick events, now we want to choose the click event, which is fine, and what we want to do is to display quick help, nice and easy. And again, we'll send the message to the entity, and we'll just drop down the drop down here, and we'll pick up the MP QHelp hospital number. Execute we can't change, but we're happy with that, and the parameters we're going to send it to the window, so we're happy there. Click OK, click OK, and now if we test run the form, yep, and we click on ID help, we now get our little help message come up. So really that's all there is to creating a quick help message and hooking it up to a form. Again, that could have been off a menu item if you want to, but that works perfectly okay. You really, whether you would run it off a button or not, that's entirely down to you. I mean, clearly you don't want to have too many buttons all over your application, so maybe the options button would be a better route, but that's all down to design and something that I'll leave you to discuss with the professional trainers when you have your training. But as an introduction, that's how to create a quick help message and hook it up to a form. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at pop-ups, which gets a little bit more complicated and a little bit more fun. I'll see you then. Bye bye.